Good morning, everyone. Today is the 20th of June, 2026, and this is your look at the weather for the weekend and the week ahead, presented by Flagler County Assist, Flagler Weather Info page. So, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good start to today, and we're going to take a look at what to expect as we go through the next several days and into the week ahead. So, let's go ahead and we're taking a look at a satellite image here. It's been kind of unsettled the last few days, and it's going to kind of stay that way with a stalled front to our north here, funneling a lot of tropical moisture across the area. A few upper level disturbances mixed in, and you have equals a pretty good chance of showers and thunderstorms for today. But things will be changing as we go into the upcoming week. Lightning, closest lightning right now as of this morning, well offshore out here in the Atlantic Ocean. But we can expect a lot more lightning get cranking later on today. But we'll take a closer look at that in a minute. But let's first take a look at the tropics. Of course, we had a little bit of excitement. We had Tropical Cyclone Arthur, became a weak tropical storm, and it went on in. But remember, it's never just a tropical storm. That thing produced close to 20 inches of rain in some locations across the south. It went to our north, so even though we had a little bit of influence from it, not that much. And the remains of it passing offshore. But now there's no chance of that thing redeveloping at this point in time. So we don't see any risk of any additional development in the next 7 days. Going further out into the future, we're looking at really the only chance of tropical energy developing, the best chances of it are going to be over here in the Eastern Pacific. Um, and then nothing in the Gulf, nothing in the Caribbean, nothing in the Atlantic. And then same here as we go into the first week of July. Typical of El Nino conditions, it usually helps put a lid on the hurricane season. Doesn't mean you can't have storms. You can have storms, and it only takes one. So again, don't let your guard down just because it's started off kind of slow. And we have a long way to go yet for hurricane season 2026. So taking a look at what to expect here, risk of flash flooding even dipping into our area a little bit due to persistent heavy rainfall, which is possible later on today. Stalled front here, high pressure to the north, and we have a few upper level disturbances transiting between the two. That's going to keep things active once the sun gets up and can light off the atmosphere. And there's quite a bit of cloud cover out there, but heat is one of the main things that drive showers and thunderstorms. We get that lift going in the atmosphere, things will be popping all over the place later on today. Now, as we go into Sunday, still a pretty decent chance of showers and storms for us. Going to Monday, though, we start to dry out a little bit, and we could actually start to see some hotter temperatures as well. We'll get into the details of that in just a bit. So taking a look at potential hazards from the National Weather Service. There are flood watches up well off to the north of us, not applying to us, but numerous to widespread showers and storms that can be expected this evening. And then hot and humid conditions continue next week, and we could potentially see heat index values from 105 to 110 next week here. And you can see some of the heaviest rain off to the north, where this is up in Georgia, not near us. Flood watches, again, well up to our north, Flagler County being here. Flood watches up here in southeast Georgia, not a problem for us. The drought's getting bitten away bit by bit, but we're still in it. But it's slowly helping. But the soil moisture is in really good shape, so we're not at high level wildfire risk at all. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. So, taking a look again at the tropics, no significant issues there as we just discussed. And taking a look at weather radar this morning, you can see that there's some activity offshore, no lightning in any of that, but nothing over land right at the moment. Now, let's go ahead and take a look, but that will change. Let's just take a look at temperatures. High temperatures today expected to be right around 90 degrees. Some of that cloud cover is going to help us not get as hot as we could. Tomorrow, we're going to be lower 90s across the area. Monday, we start to cook a little bit here. 96 for a high along this US 1 FEC corridor. A1A corridor, lower 90s. FEC US 1 corridor, about 96. All inland Flagler County, 96. Heat indexes will be higher. I will show you those in a moment. Temperatures staying about the same into Tuesday. Wednesday about the same. So it looks like a pretty hot week ahead with temperatures peaking mid to upper 90s and cooler temperatures right at the beaches. Let's take a look at the heat indexes now. So we're going to take a look at max heat index. This is what the maximum heat index is expected on each day. Today 103, which it's about right for Florida. But Sunday, not too terribly bad. But then we start getting back up into it on Monday with numbers getting into 105, 106 degrees. And we kind of, this keeps us out of heat advisory criteria at least. But those numbers staying right around 106, 107 as we go through the week. So now keep in mind, the further out you go, the more changes could occur in this forecast. So we could see higher or lower numbers as we go further into the future here. Let's take a look at cooler temperatures now. What about low temperatures, daily lows for tonight? And it's going to be kind of the same throughout the week. Lows generally in the 70s, lower 70s inland, mid to upper 70s beaches, maybe mid 70s in the middle part of the week here. But generally low temperatures in the 70s. No real dramatics with that. So let's take a look at our precipitation chances now. So let's start with today. So right now, pretty high chances, about a 75 to 80% chance of showers and thunderstorms today. Most of that's going to be in the afternoon. And as we go into tonight, look for temperatures to be, rain chances still to linger in there, about a 30% chance. So we see those rain chances dwindle a little bit. And then they bump back up on Sunday, but not quite as widespread. And notice that you're starting to see the higher numbers west. So the western side of the county's got a little bit better chance of seeing showers or storms. And then a slight risk of a coastal shower overnight. And then Monday, just a slight chance, 10% chance of the odd coastal shower, dry Monday night. Very minimal chance, about a 10% chance on Tuesday. And then we have to go to Wednesday before we get to a substantial rain chance again. Probably about a 40 to 50% chance of that. And then keep in mind, the further we go into the future, the more inaccurate the forecast gets. So we're looking at about 50% chance on Thursday. And then as we go further out, Friday, about a 30% chance. And that's as far as we get into the end of the week. Now, as far as precipitation amounts, how much are we going to be seeing? Well, how much is expected to be seen? So let's go ahead and get to that. I just got to find it. They've changed their system here, so I have to kind of relearn everything. 7-day total, maybe ½ inch to an inch. So really, not a lot of rain, but there could be, some heavier amounts. Keep in mind, this always represents the average. There could be some locally higher amounts. And most of this is probably going to happen between now and Sunday based on the forecast. So anyways, but that's how things are all looking right there with that. And as we move right along, let's talk about soil moisture, from precipitation to soil moisture right now. So again, we're not in too bad a shape here. Flagler County being right about here. So remember I was telling you that we are still in a severe to moderate drought. But current soil moisture, the drought basically is like a measure of rainfall for like the last 6 or so months. This tells us what the actual soil moisture is. And you can be in the middle of a bad drought and have a good rainy day and have good soil moisture. So this minimizes the wildfire risk. It does not mean that wildfires can't happen, but they're a lot easier to be managed if they do. And of course, you can notice here that some places, especially south of Tampa, they're still in pretty big trouble there. And there's other areas, Central Florida, west of us, that is still really dry, where it could potentially have some pretty bad wildfire should anything break out. So we're not in too bad a shape there. So let's talk about the long range forecast now. This takes us into the end of June. We're looking for temperatures to be averaging above normal here in Flagler County. And as we go for our precipitation forecast, look for about average precipitation. Now, as we go into the end of June into early July, this takes us through 4th of July. Again, look for temperatures to be, looks like well above normal for that time period. Precipitation chances about normal. So if you're going to be going out to those 4th of July events, do not underestimate the heat. Make sure you stay hydrated. And let's see here. Whoops, did not mean to bring that back up. So let's talk about Sargassum seaweed here. And so right now, taking a look at our local area, if I can drag this right over here, and Flagler County being right about here. So now we are in the moderate risk of Sargasso seaweed. So, and looks like low risk to the south. So it looks like conditions may be improving a little bit. We're not seeing as much red as we saw on the map. So if you're trying to dodge the Sargassum seaweed out there, looks like conditions are trying to improve. This has been a pretty healthy bloom this year, and they've been steadily getting worse year after year after year. And a lot of that can be attributed to three factors. One of them is climate change, warmer oceans. This stuff loves that warm water. Second thing is that pollution by all of us, not just the United States, but all the countries that have rivers that go into the ocean. All those, things that get pushed out there. Sargassum seaweed loves heavy metals and stuff like that. Did you know there's arsenic in Sargassum seaweed? So don't eat the stuff. So anyways, but with that being said, so we can probably continue to have problems with Sargassum seaweed as we go through the months and the years ahead. But right now, at least it looks like we're catching a little bit of a break with it. So that's definitely some good news if you're trying to get out to the beach. So, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And again, if you're just joining us, you can rewind and rewatch. We'll be posting links up here as well. You can follow us on YouTube. Go to Flagler Weather Info. Search it out on YouTube. You can search us out on TikTok as well. Flagler Weather Info. Of course, right here on Facebook. Everybody have a great weekend. Have a great week ahead. Likely we'll be back next weekend unless there's dramatic changes to the forecast. We'll likely be back either Friday or Saturday. But again, it depends if there's dramatic changes to the upcoming forecast or not. Everybody out there have a great weekend and a great week ahead.